In this world, nothing is constant. Everything keeps on changing, whether it is a human physiology or the systems attached with human beings. It is time to experience another new world order which is going to emerge sooner or later. Now the world is looking forward to the two major states across the world, America and China. At present, new strategical changes are going to surface on the world. New world order is going to be established, and this phase of transition is really worth noticing. Might be it would cost hundreds and thousands of the human life, or it could emerge in such a silent way, keeping in mind the peace and order of the world. But it all depends upon the superpower, which is going to decide how this transition should take place in this world. It would be very difficult choice for the states around the world in the current scenario to be the part of which state, America or China. As the coronavirus, which is a pandemic, will come to an end, the priorities of the world will change. Values across the countries will get reshaped. Relationships will also suffer. Rather, there will be re-engineering of the relationship across the world among the different states. New strategic foundations would be set, and a new world powers would definitely emerge, which is not a flashpoint. Rather, it is backed by the efforts of the nations of hundreds and thousands of years. It is a nation's legacy which helps the successors to drive the future of the nation. If you talk about the historical precedent of such kind of occurrences, one can never forget the outbreak of influenza in 1920, soon after the World War I. It was not a divine or natural disorder, rather it was a man-made, artificial and a synthetic disorder that came on the surface of the world, and it changed dimensions of the political setup. States were studying for the best of their survival. At that moment, United States of America and its allies were declared victorious. Great Britain was also the most was said that the son of the Great Britain never descends. But yes, since that time period, the different states of the world started to survive according to their priorities and capacities. Countries started to establish alliances with the powers of their own choices. I'm talking about the political maneuverings which were the part of the world order. At that moment, Germany became or emerged as the most powerful nation of the world, and it prepared enough to fight back and set the foundation of the Second World War, which lasted for 6 years and ended with the Holocaust in 1945 there in Japan. So both wars, World War I and World War II, in the transitional phase of the world order, cost millions of lives. Rather, it was an unimaginable disaster, and the change of the world order proved very painful for the generations. The painful accounts by either of the survivors of the wars could narrate such a panic history of the change of the world order. The most recent and the modern history of the world also introduced a new world order, which was established on the eve of the 9/11 in the United States of America, which was considered as a pre-engineered, pre-designed and pre-planned model of establishing new world order, even at the cost of more than 300 precious American lives in order to justify the new world order. Following 9/11, United States of America decided to step into the war against terrorism, but covertly to step into the territories of the world where their immense interests were fringed. They wanted to coerce the resources of the other nations. Even thousands of the lives were also taken. Countries like Afghanistan were occupied. New list of American allies was prepared, and the countries who depended upon the American economy had no choice. Had no choice at that moment, rather simply becoming the part of the international agenda, irrespective of the fact that whether it was based on the fact or it was ill-minded approach of the Americans in order to penetrate their jaws across the flesh of the innocent states, particularly the innocent people who left this world without having their choice of living an independent and free life. In contrast to Americans, who always consider, rather they are proud of it, that they have the liberty to live, to express express their opinion and to live a life of their own. But those who died in the war of terrorism, they actually were common people like us who were not the part of the international agenda, and this was a terrible state. Let's talk about the recent and upcoming emergence of the new world order, where in this eruption of pandemic coronavirus is mere a gateway. It is also planned both from the sides of America and China, as the facts behind are artificially planned corona created by America on China. China was targeted by America, as this is the view of the China that the province of China Wuhan was targeted, which is the strongest economic bloc of the China. China claims that it is the America who wants to bulldoze the economy of the China so that China's rapid progression in the field of trade and commerce could be constrained, because China no doubt has set a foundation and a discipline coronavirus. Rather recently, the sources have confirmed that America has sent some bombers to accrue further disaster in China, which could erupt an international holocaust. It is believed that the China has bounced back with lethal approach, but it is the silent one. This operation is still a clandestine one. Both heads of the states, America and China, are maneuvering their stances while leveling allegations against each other, but the fact is that China has fought back successfully, and the ratio of the deaths in America has surpassed the one occurred in China. This is not a trivial transition. The whole world has been locked down just because of the stupid policies of the American president, Mr. Donald Trump. They are fed up of the naive behavior of the Donald Trump, their own president, and this is how the new world order is creeping. Either sooner or later, it would emerge with the new values, new states, new powers, new disciplines, and new world agendas. Let's discuss the key points related to the emergence of China, which have become the horrific for America, and America is trying to constrain its progress. It is not other than the economic progression of China. Let's find how these factors are responsible for making China the most prominent state across the corridors of the world. The production cost of the Chinese products is pretty low in comparison with the one made in America and European countries. It is because of the availability of the raw material to China, as well as the labor costs, which is not even comparable with the ones in America and European countries. China was trying to change the operations of the industrial world, starting from the home to the mega industrial units. The operations based on the oil related to transport, travel, and running of the factories and machineries are going to be transformed into solar or electric ones. For example, China has experimented successfully. The modes of the transport would be electric and solar rather than oil-based ones, as oil is the strongest weapon with the American economy, which has recently struck badly with the American companies selling oil across the world have met with the colossal disaster, because the world has been closed and no country of the world is ready to buy the oil from the American companies. Even they are ready to pay $35 per barrel to its buyers, but no one is capacitated enough to buy the fuel from the American companies as a whole, and this tectonic shift in the operations of the world has caused distress for the America, because even American industry and American economy is bound to lick the dust just because of the change of the operations by China. Chinese are also going to ditch the dollar as international currency, and now China is trying to convince its buyers that their trade would not be in dollar rather in Chinese yuan. If the Chinese currency would recently replace the American dollar, then there is not even a single option with America to survive as a superpower in the world, and this is what America is not going to make it happen. America would go for the worst in order to block or resist such kind of change by China. China in fact wants to rise peacefully by the way of economic empowerment and independence across the world. Even China is ready to build alliances with the poor countries. China is ready to pay the debts of the poor countries spending towards IMF. China is establishing and redesigning its relationships with the allies just like Pakistan, as the contribution of the China in dealing with the pandemic situation here in Pakistan is one of the proofs of how China is going to support or aid its allies. Now America is on the knife edge and unable to decide appropriately how to retain or restrain China from building new blocks, which would be the part of the new world order. order, be the part of the new world order. Let's have a critical view of the American ongoing situation. The upcoming presidential elections in America whenever will be on its verge. The Americans will hold Trump accountable for this foolish attitude towards dealing with the pandemic coronavirus. The American nation has come to roads, and it is the historical toll in the history of America that the people, the common man, they are asking for the loan from the government as their business have closed and even their basic needs have started suffering just because of the eruption of the pandemic coronavirus in the United States of America. American citizens are raising questions to the president and the government machinery that how China has dealt with this horrific situation of pandemic coronavirus, and why was America not well prepared in order to deal with such kind of situation, though trillions of the dollars were spared for dealing such kind of imminent situations. What the government and the presidency of the United States of America together have made preparations in order to combat this emergence of coronavirus. The American nation is very wise, but they can never afford such kind of unwise and stupid president which is going to make such a foolish decisions as per anticipations of the United States of America media. On the contrary, Chinese president and the Chinese government are making such a wise steps and such a peaceful measures which could pave path for the emergence of China as a new superpower. Might be if the America would deal with this ongoing situation tactfully, then this war of the new world order could be delayed or prolonged, but the way American president is making foolish mistakes, that is not far behind. The China might emerge as a new superhero across the world, and the new world order will be set finally. If you have liked my video, please subscribe my YouTube channel. There will be more touching videos about current affairs. Thank you.